I then walk down Pattaya North Road. Other times of the year, it's currently November, other times of the year, it's actually, I do, oh, hold on, I gotta go to my comments page, bro. Let's see here. There we go. And yeah, I believe I have the chat app open correctly. If not, well, I'll find out soon enough. When I do this, normally, when it's not November or October or something like that, right? It's a lot cooler. Sorry, it's a lot hotter. But today, it's a lot cooler. Good morning, Stuck. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming by, my friend. Let me tilt these down. I've got basically to my left, your right on the camera. I've got my phone, which is what I'm tethered to, but it's also what I have all the aggregated chat in. And you'll forgive me because I got two backpacks, so I'm kind of juggling my luggage. Oh, and then that's lame. It like, what? Well, that's no good. How do I get it to stay on and not go away after 30 seconds? Well, whatever. Where's the party at? Well, the party don't start till I walk in. Hello, Mr. Mitch. The weather this morning, it's not very humid and it's not very hot. Now, that of course is relative to potentially where some of you are. I know Mariano sent me a screenshot this morning, and he was a screenshot this morning of it being 1 degree, and so I was like, yeah, it's warmer than that here. But one of the reasons I wanted to do this is to kind of clarify for you why I bother walking from the bus station all the way down to the beach. If you've ever taken a bus in Thailand, buses and movie theaters are pretty much the coldest places next to Mount Everest in comparison to Thailand. Now I gotta figure out a way for my phone to not black out so I can see the comments. Otherwise, after 30 seconds, it goes away. So, display, screen timeout. Let's take 30 minutes. How's that? And, because I guess inactivity means that I haven't touched it versus I'm, you know, whatever. I love you too, dude. Good to see you, Gracie. 5:30, missed the stop button. I dismounted only to realize the timer was still counting. Oh, dude. That's all right, man. I think everyone in the channel knows you're an absolute rock star on the treadmill. And thank you guys for saying hi to Gracie. Actually, so she's on Facebook, so unfortunately she can't. She won't have the benefit of you seeing that, but I will convey to her, honey, that Stuck, Mr. Mitch, MetTech, and Asia Unscripted all say hello to you, as do I. So you know how well, maybe you don't know this. If you live here, you're familiar with walking into fairly public places, and there will be usually a guard that has one of those, you know, guns, right, that does the temperature. And for the most part, walking around here, I hover from about 35.8 to about about 36.8, somewhere in there. I've been like 37.1, you know, if I've gone for a long walk, and then I come in. Okay, so I was on the bus, and the whole time I was on the bus, I had like my snow hat, my beanie, basically, because it's freezing. And so when I get off the bus, I walk to basically enter the because you know how they have a single point of entry, right, for most places. So I have to basically get off the bus and then re-enter the bus station, which is easy. You just walk, 20 meters to use the restroom. And so in doing so, the guy needs to take my temperature. Now I've gotten off the bus and it's been, I don't know, about 3 minutes. So I've been standing outside in the Thailand air for about 3 minutes. I took my hat off, I rearranged my luggage and stuff, my backpacks, and I'm like, okay. I walk up to this guy, he takes my temperature, 33.9. So to give you an idea of like how chilling the air is and how cold my body gets from riding a Thai bus, whew, I was like 10% less than normal, dude. That's crazy. Anyway, so that's another reason why I always take the opportunity to walk myself down to the beach when I'm here at Pattaya. So this family, if you don't know, the Swarovskis, they've been mildly, more like wildly successful at getting their brand of stores in very high traffic areas. And so the jewelry. And so that's like, the casinos in Las Vegas, the airports, places like that, malls, of course. But anyway, they were a huge donor to the university I used to work at. I'm gonna try and, this is kind of a drag. I probably should have been like, why don't I drop my luggage off and then I'll do it. Yeah, well. Oh, there we go. Gracie's over on YouTube. Good to see you, honey. So I walk this because I'm like, dude, I need to warm up. And it's sort of like if I'm walking around Thailand and I'm basically not sweating, I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. See, I am gonna have to touch this thing because I thought it would scroll up on new. Thank you for saying hi to her, guys. I'd have to scroll this up. I thought it would work automatically. Anyway, so if you're familiar with the area, this is Terminal 21. I haven't been in it actually since the COVID. These have been basically all along the street, which are signs for the fireworks festival that they're having. I didn't realize it was the 60th annual, or maybe that's just the 60th annual, like Pattaya something. Maybe Pattaya is 60 years old. I think it's older, but regardless. Dolphin Roundabout, Dusatani, and Second Road in front of Terminal 21. So I actually pretty much started the vlog right. Look at this. When's the last time you saw, well, the last time you saw Second Road this dead was probably any vlog you've watched in the last 6 months. So, but if you haven't been here in 6 months, when's the last time you saw Second Road that dead? I would say 4 a.m. Yeah, maybe. But as I mentioned before, kind of like this area right here, like definitely that, and then this road here. When I was first coming to Pattaya and I would get off the plane, the first thing that I would just absolutely fall in love with was the humidity and how hot it was. And there'd be a guy like picking me up, right? Taking me down here for like, I don't know, it was like 1,000 baht, 1,200 baht, something like that. And he would come down this road and I would feel like I was back home. It was such an awesome feeling. The signs for the fireworks festival have were pretty much all the way along the street back there. And interestingly enough, everything was in Thai, like the whole sign. And so this traditionally was referred to as the International Fireworks Festival, where different countries would compete for sort of the performance of their fireworks in celebration of the king. But now, since there's no international travel, it's the Pattaya Fireworks Festival. So, Guang travel to Khao Ko, a mountainous region near Laos today. Oh, cool, man. That's good. Thanks for your pictures. He sent me a picture of his girlfriend. She was having there was a celebration up in her village whereby I believe the king, she said, or maybe it was just, I don't think it was the government. I think he said the king donated land to the temple they had up there. Pretty awesome. And I would come down here on this street and I would see this just so awesome. I don't know what you call this. I mean, I suppose it's like a mural of sorts. Anyway, this entryway, archway, very common in hundreds of places in Thailand. But I would see this and I'd be like, oh yeah. So I'd see the dolphin roundabout, and then I'd see the street coming down, and then I'd see this, and then I'd have the cab stop and I'd walk through here, and then I'd see that. I would see the Gulf of Thailand, and I'd be like, oh dude, I'm so home. And then the final 1%, the final over the top jubilee feeling would be when I came down to the end of this street and the car turned left. I guess it's sharp. Not at 30 kilometers an hour, it's not sharp. But you've run those very roads. So Metzak, here's what's interesting is I believe, at least in the past when I've been here for the International Fireworks Festival, they had, I believe they were races. Traditionally they were like fundraisers, and I think the race this year is on Sunday, but I don't know. You give me a pass today. Thanks for not running. In Oklahoma, but my heart's in Thailand. Yeah, I hear you, Roger. Believe me. I suffered from that Delta for a while, not the least of which is I'm in the United States, but my Gracie's at the, on the other side of the international date line. Nathan says good morning. He's watching as he has lunch in his city office in Sydney. Ah, very cool. Hello, Sydney. Pattaya Beach is, yes, it's off to the left, but it's also technically directly in front of you. The other thing that would happen is usually today, meaning the Thursday before the fireworks festival, Beach Road would be getting really close to being blocked off from about, I want to say like Soi 3, maybe, well, no, maybe not, past 4 probably, because Pattaya International Hospital is on Soi 4, so maybe for safety they allow you to go up and down Soi 4. Anyway, from about there down to usually Central Festival, they'd have the whole street blocked off, and then they'll have like tons of vendors and that sort of thing on the sidewalk, and many people come and stay here and go to the beach and sit down. And to give you an example of how dense the domestic tourism is, I booked my hotel weeks ago, and so like I think so on Agoda, and then so you can add like what is Agoda, 19% over the displayed cost for fees and all that. So my room is pretty much, I think it was like 794 baht, a night, right? And I booked it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today's Thursday, yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or no, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'm gonna cruise home on Sunday. And it was like 700 or 800 baht a night. And in fact, the funny thing is that initially I got a better deal because I booked a different reservation for Thursday and Friday. And then for less money, I got a better room on Saturday night. So I'm like going from like a superior to a deluxe for one night, whatever. But the point is that to the domestic travel discussion, I checked online last night because I'm like, I wonder if I should just like combine this one reservation and make it all in one room to make it easier for them or whatever. And I didn't, but I went online, and of course, you go online and it shows you the cost of the room. So for sure, I could have gotten a room tonight for about 800 baht. Tomorrow night, my same room is going for 5,400 and 14 baht. So that was interesting. And in fact, the deluxe is the only one available. All the cheap rooms, i.e. Superior, aren't available. So family on my mom's side left Oklahoma for Idaho on the Oregon Trail back into the day, which was a Wednesday, as you all know. Dad's that came from Italy through Ellis Island. Oh, very cool, dude. Great sharp picture, thank you. Thank you, Caesar, I appreciate it, buddy. I'm only doing 720p because I'm like, well, I'm walking. I'm not just sitting at the beach. So, but I mean, if you've been to Pattaya, then you've experienced excellent data as well. And I believe AIS has very, very good penetration here. Now I'm entering denser area, but I am seeing some folks without masks on, so I don't feel totally compelled to stop what I'm doing and put the mask on. Plus, if I'm gonna wear the mask, probably not gonna stream. It's just kind of a pain to speak with the thing on at length. See, there you go. Now I gotta hit new messages again. I don't get the refresh. Mr. Bitch, some of my family was on the trail in Oklahoma back in the day, but we won't talk about that on Thanksgiving. I believe that is a new one. Undoubtedly, you guys have seen people do vlogs about places like this or Patong, right? And I've done the same thing, which is you sort of, the number of 7-Elevens that are closed is sort of the litmus test for how detrimental this has been to the local economy, right? As well as the number of McDonald's. If there's McDonald's closed or if there's 7-Elevens closed, then you know it's bad, right? And but that was a new one just opened back there. And that was another thing that I noticed when I came here last time. Well, actually, when I've been anywhere really lately in Pattaya. No, sorry, not in Pattaya, in Thailand. And they're taking the opportunity for doing a lot of construction, right? So that's been cool. I'd like to see that. The infrastructure big time, like the railways and everything. So, I'll show you one of the signs that I'm talking about that are all over the place. Let me also show you the ease with which I can cross Beach Road. It's as if there's a pandemic. So yeah, so 27th to 28th, so basically that's Friday night and Saturday night. And the cool thing is that it's not, I don't know, I mean, it's enjoyable for me. And again, this is the whole old man theory, right? It's, it ends about 10 o'clock at night. It looks like I have 2 backpacks. I do. No, all my ATMs are full of my cash. My bags are full of my debit cards. Yeah, I got all my gear in the front. So I got like laptop, like for example, I brought an extra microphone simply because I thought, well, you know what, I might be doing some interviews when I'm down here. Saturday for Bangkok Strange live stream, we're likely to probably have another special guest on. A guy that we've interviewed before, who's basically home is down here in Pattaya. And, but I don't know if he is available or wants to, again. But maybe Tony, will be in the mood to talk with me and Dana online. I have a feeling that the laptop will do fine having 2 people's faces on it if we just set it back far enough. And my lavalier mic, actually, it's got 2 heads on it. So I thought, okay, well, that's cool. I give each one of us one, and ideally we should be able to talk. I gotta get a Y splitter, but I need to go to the IT mall anyway to get some other stuff. So I get that, and then we'll be able to use 2 headsets. And so with any luck, it'll be me and Tony down here, and Dana back in Bangkok, which actually brings up an interesting point. I mean, I guess we do have some sort of interaction. We have interaction when I make the point to bring up the chat here on the app. So maybe you guys would like just to have a live stream with me and Tony. He's a pretty interesting guy. I mean, he's actually a great guy. I won't talk about what bag is on my cash. Boom. This is what everything looks like. Now, I will tell you that this week literally is the most common week I will have ever been in Pattaya in the past. Because I haven't celebrated Thanksgiving in the United States for years. But in 2012, when I found Thailand, from that day forth, it was no longer Thanksgiving. It's Thaisgiving. And so my Thaisgiving was always this week. Because, you know, you get 2 days off work, and then really you only need to take 3 vacation days, and effectively then you get 9 days that you can use for vacation. And so that is what I would do. And I would come down to Pattaya. And I bring that up because at this time of the morning, 9:20, most mornings in November about 9 o'clock, the beach road is not that much busier than it is right now. There's, you know, there's a little bit more people, but if you back up an hour, really this is just like off by an hour, like the standard 8 o'clock in the morning beach road. Because what I would do is I would usually get up about 6:30, try to get out of the condo or apartment or whatever I was renting, hotel, by like 7:30. And then I would walk along the beach for about an hour, and then I would meet some buddies for like coffee at Albon Pan, which has since closed, over on 2nd Road. Now I'm walking down to about Soi 12, I think. Maybe a little bit before that. I need to get over to Soi 10, 2nd Road. It's like 2 blocks away from the base, but it's this new hotel called Hotel, what is it called? Anyway, it's, you know, newish. So I thought, all right, fine, I'll cruise over there. Glad to see the sidewalks are all fixed and put. Yeah. Crazy fast. It is good. You know, and then it'll, you know what's funny about right here? Here's why I remember this location vividly. Because many times what I would do is I would arrive in Thailand just because of the flights and stuff. I would arrive here like midnight-ish. So after getting luggage and then taking a taxi down, I would end up in Pattaya at about 3 a.m.-ish. And the cool thing is that I was at this hotel that I had gone to many times, and when I would show up, they would let me check in. They would give me an early check-in, provided as long as it was after 5 a.m. Like, that's pretty good early check-in. So I would come down here at like, you know, 3 in the morning when it's totally dead, and I would get one of those wraps, the kebab sandwiches things. What are those called? Anyway, I would get the, you know, they like shave it off this giant cylinder of chickens that are baking, that are grilling. Anyway, I would get one of those, and I would come right here to this. And you guys, if you've been here before, you'd likely have seen this statue. But what's interesting to me about this is that, as I get my luggage, as I get my backpack set up, is right here, you see this big slab of concrete, right? And you see this beach. Well, I used to frequently come and I would sit right here and I would dangle my legs right off the edge of this, because the beach was about 2 meters short, lower. And I know this, and I vividly remember this spot because I came here one time and it's 3 in the morning, and I'm tired. And so I like open my phone, and I don't remember what I did. I probably checked in with my buddies or something like this, because this is a while ago. This is actually before I met Gracie. And I set my phone down, and I ate my dinner at 3 in the morning, and set my phone down, finished eating, got up, and started walking away back to my hotel, which was usually on like Soy 5. And I would kind of walk, fairly slowly, right? Because I was just chilling out. Well, up behind me comes this Thai guy running towards me, like yelling in Thai. And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, is he gonna like ask me for like, what did I do something wrong, whatever? He's holding my phone. He's like, your phone, your phone, your phone. It was an amazing experience. Like 4 in the morning, Pattaya. And the guy's like, oh, no, you forgot your phone. Yeah, I fit here. I fit here then, I fit here now. Okay, yeah, so here's what I'm used to seeing. And they're obviously just getting it set up. And it will likely be much larger, obviously, than it is right now. And it'll have lights on it and that sort of thing. But this truss here will sort of be the beginning. And oh, and if you haven't seen this whole new drainage system that they put in here on the beach, the last time I was here, okay, so this year I was here like in end of January for a conference, and all the way along here they were digging up this whole thing. And then what they would do is they would hammer these giant metal slats basically between there and the edge of this to make sort of the wall. And then they would lay the pipe in, and they would put the concrete over, and then there's your drainage, right? Yeah, so you're probably getting that directly into the sun, maybe. So that is actually the base over there. So that means my hotel is a little bit south of that, I think. Where the heck am I? Oh, I'm not even at View to... Oh, dude, I'm not even at Pattaya Central Road. I got a longer way to go than that. So yes, you've undoubtedly seen the Pattaya, and so there's pretty good sized tents actually. So today, what they'll do? Oh no, they already have the electric in. Yeah, what they do is they just like throw some wires in, and then shove it in outlets. Each tent seems to get 1 or 2 outlets, and if you've been here before and been to one of these festivals, you know that the width of this sidewalk is enormous compared to what it used to be, right? Like literally, it's twice the width. Like normally these tents would be, you'd be banging into people, and tents on either side of you, and of course every 7th tent sells exactly the same thing. But never been to Beach Road or most of Pattaya in the daytime. It looks so different. Yeah, look, here's the thing. It's an expat community based, or it's a city that started around an expat community. Plenty of Thais live here too. But there's a ton to do. A lot to do. And Central Festival, I think that was the first mall I ever walked into in Thailand. Because I don't believe I went to any of the malls in Bangkok the first time I was there. But I was like, wow, this is a mall in a third world. Okay, so yeah, I wish I had a zoom. Anyway, so those barges out there are where the fireworks will be shot off from. And let's see, as far as I know, it's just those. They might be 2 deep, not just the one. It looks like one, maybe. Can't really tell. I don't have my glasses on, and unfortunately, I'm sure you can't tell because of the zoom lens, or the lack of zoom lens, rather. But yeah, so they'll be setting them off there. So that's pretty cool. And just so you know, it's effectively right in front of the Hard Rock and down the street from Pattaya Central Road. And it would be really neat actually in the past, because of course, it would be basically a competition between countries, right? And so that was always, I don't know, just kind of cool. Now, while I don't expect it, I don't see any new comments, which is fine, but I just want to make sure that I'm streaming. I see a blinking red light on my camera, and usually I will get a beep if it's not streaming, but anyway. They have a big stage set up here. The Pattaya Music Festival actually is December 11th, I believe, 11th and 12th. And what they'll do there is while they, oh thanks Doc, is they'll set up a stage here in the center for sure. But then they also set up another stage further south, and then another one up north. And my experience has been is that the one that's set up towards the, towards Nakla is there would be like more, again, I think I mentioned this when I was over on Koh Samui, but the like the Isan dance type things, with the really like long weird fingers, nails, and for some reason down at that one that seemed to be more common. So they're getting this set up, and again, it's Thursday morning, right? So they have Friday evening is pretty much when the stuff begins, about 6 o'clock. The ever popular step and repeat, always entertaining. The schedule for this is oh, and I'm trying to, yeah, light is life is the theme, which I think is all pretty good. Now the good news is that I haven't had a drink in 28 years. I don't own a gun or a knife, and I don't smoke, and there's no fireworks. Is that what that means? No fireworks? Or no explosives? It's kind of funny, right? This is neat. It's a lot neater at night. But this is actually something that while here for the festival, the fireworks festival, they will have something like this installed along Beach Road. I've experienced pretty much all high season, so pretty much this weekend through New Year's Eve. 2018, yeah, I mean, oh yeah, especially, yeah, because of course in 2018 they were fixing the beach and then it rained and that was a big fat bummer for them, so they had to kind of redo it. But anyway, so this is, I remember sort of doing this. I think the highest I've ever climbed, I mean, I was a radio engineer obviously for years, but the highest I've ever climbed, I think in a tower, was probably 20 feet, 30 feet. I think the highest I've ever climbed was when it was MTV Unplugged MTV Spring Break in San Diego, and the radio station I was working for, we were on stage doing stuff, and I had to climb up in the scaffolding and hang this giant banner for our station. So I climb up. I'm all excited. I'm really amped up. I'm like, this is great, MTV. This is gonna be an awesome promotion. And I get up there and I'm putting these zip ties in, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like 40 feet in the air. And I was, so yeah, I just thought of that. I haven't thought of that in a while. Witherspoon's was actually closed and now it's open. It also looks like they are expanding, so good for them. Looks like there's another couple of places over there that are, well, for rent, but also expanding. So this is really cool, or that is really cool. So this is, so in Coronado, well, in Coronado, they would spend a ridiculous amount of money on like just landscaping in general. So like the public trees, but also the beaches, the sand on the beach. And they would rake the beach every single day because heaven forbid there's seaweed that gets on it. Because of course, that's not natural. But this is a pretty sweet rig, and he's obviously got a, I don't know what that is. It's a sand modification device. I'm not quite sure what it does. I'm guessing it's designed to add beauty. But the one in Coronado, they actually, also had magnets in it, so it would remove any sort of, metal that would be there. And for the most part, there was actually very little glass on the beach in Coronado. So I love that. Love everything about it. Many times I've been here in Pattaya and there'd be a stage set up actually right here on the sidewalk, right in front of the statue, or the memorial, not memorial, the big plaque, I guess, of the king. And there'd be many officials out here, and they'd be sitting down in the hot sun in black uniforms, and they would have some celebration for the king, which I always thought was just awesome. Oh, did I miss some? I think I did. Airlines from the USA haven't flown to Bangkok for a couple of years now. Oh, yeah, directly, yeah. In fact, let's see, what the last one was, because I actually took it. It was October 24th. It was before I met Gracie, so it was October 24th of 2014 or 2015, Thai Airways. And it was the last direct Thai Airways went into LAX. A month before that was the last Thai Airways that went into SFO. But whoops. Now there is still that direct flight from tightness from LAX to Manila. That's about the longest one I've ever been on. I've been on that one. Philippine Airlines is pretty lame, so I try and not patronize them unless I have to. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. So, hey, hi, good to see you, man. Nice sunny day, indeed it is. With the new tourist visa, do y'all think any American airline company will start commercial flights back to Bangkok? Yeah, and you know, here's what's interesting about that. So Thai Airways is a Star Alliance partner, United, and what's interesting about that is that I asked them why they were doing that, why they were shutting it down, and there just wasn't the volume. So there was a lot more volume going to other areas like Taipei, and then once you get to Asia, East Asia, Southeast Asia, then getting over to Bangkok was easier. But Korean Airlines I'm a big fan of Korean Airlines as well. Semi-commercial flights the embassy talks about, do those originate in the States? Yes, they do. I've flown Korea Air one time, Atlanta to Seoul, yep. And then, yeah, Asia unscripted, yeah, so Korean, EVA, Qatar, many of them, United. I actually really dislike United, but I like accumulating points via United.com so that I can then book flights, and it ends up being bookings on EVA Air or ANA Air, both of which are stellar. ANA arguably a little bit better than EVA. The standard coach seats has more legroom in ANA. Customer service is probably a little bit better. EVA, Taiwanese airline. ANA, All Nippon, Japanese airline. So, makes sense. Customer service would be a little bit better. These are what I believe to be VIP booths, but I'm not quite sure what occurs here. And I'm not sure whether this is like a sidewalk or whether this is just laying here temporarily and then they're going to put it up and do something with it. Either way, I'm not going to walk on it. But again, this is a very Thai event, and you know, the number of foreigners that are going to be down here is obviously quite limited. So as you know, Thailand is all about status. Now let's be clear, the US is as well. Okay, and believe me, coming from Southern California, there is a fight for status, for sure. Visible status, outwardly visible status. The manufacturer of the car you drive, the house you have, the clothes you wear. Not so much the clothes you wear. It's not like Spain. In Spain, even the homeless people have really, really nice shoes. It's kind of weird. So that's the Hilton up there, and if you don't know, the Hilton's at the base of the, or rather, the base. At the base of the Hilton is the Central Festival Mall, and then the Hilton is above it. There is a zero edge, not swimming pool, but pool all the way at the top, which you probably can't see because the sun's right in my eyes, probably yours as well. And it makes for an awesome picture. And I think the last time I was there, I had I believe I had a Perrier, and I think it was 190 baht, maybe 290, but you know, it's the view, right? The height counter today is 1. I've been gone way too long. See, you've been getting some sun, and where's the light counter? Oh, I probably just shut the counter off because it's not really relevant to me. EVA is cool. 737 on China Air was pretty ancient. Yeah, 777s are stunning. Yeah, they are nice, and if they have the seats configured well, you can actually get some legroom in them, which is nice too, right? Always great service on EVA. That has been my experience as well. Felt like you were flying on a smaller plane. Interesting. It may filter out cigarette butts. Yeah, good point. I will tell you that it's pretty infrequent that you see someone smoking on the actual sand on the beach. You'll see them, like, you know, come up here and, you know, and maybe like on the chairs, you'll smell something as you walk by. But yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of people, you know, and then dropping their butts in the sand. Actually, you know what? Let me just real quick check on the temperature of my phone. Okay, good. It's not crazy hot. Oops. It's not crazy hot. 787 is pretty awesome. You know what's amazing? What's that giant double-decker one? A380, I believe, the Airbus 380. Is that right? Is that the right number? You airline aficionados. I've flown that on Singapore Air, and I mean, and their customer service is amazing to begin with. But the cool thing was, and I'm sure they get this a lot. They probably roll their eyes, but I was on the, you know, I was on the bottom floor. I had a great seat though. But I was on the bottom floor, and tons of legroom. Like in front of me was, you know, like a special galley with like all this glass and everything. So my legs literally extended out like 17 feet. And in doing so, right about probably 3 meters to the left was the back entrance to the second floor. And so that's where like the staff would go in and out. And so I'm like, hey, can I just cruise up there and look around? And they're like, yeah. I mean, it was a pretty long flight, you know. They're just like, yeah, go for it. I'm sorry, they didn't say go for it. They said, yes, sir, but please come back down, I believe is what they said. Zero edge pool, I've only heard them as infinity pools. New term. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've definitely heard both, but Dorman must be out living it up. He is indeed in Bangkok. I believe today I believe right now he's probably at his doc's appointment. And then I believe at 12:30, he has an appointment at the Apple store to pick up his device. So, unless it's a 370, yeah. A little bit of a mess up in the electronics on that one, right? Look at that. 0 cars on Beach Road. And then there comes 1, 2, and nothing for 1,000, 2,000. About 6 or 7 seconds later, finally a car shows up in view. Now, tomorrow, that will not be the case. This is a big deal. And I also would submit that it's a big deal, you know, for Thais in general, because while they are encouraging everyone, and I'm sure many people will, wear masks, bring your own hand sanitizer, you know, don't get too close, right? And people will be pretty good about that, but at the end of the day, it's one of the outings, you know, that hasn't been canceled, and others have. So I'm sure this is a welcomed venture back into quote-unquote normal. Emirates A380, most comfortable ride I've ever had. Yeah, enormous plane, right? Let's see. I have stayed, well, this was what the first place I stayed at, this hotel up here, this yellow one, that is completely vacant right now. It's completely, they're probably gonna tear it down, actually. But I'm trying to think what it was called when I stayed here. But again, that was 7, 8 years ago? No, yeah. So 8 years ago, it would have been my first time here. That's what she said. But so I believe I'm at soy 10. Because Mike's shopping mall. Oh, my shopping mall. Let's see here. I guess I could cruise back that way and head up. Yeah, I'll go up that soy. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of do a little bit of this and hang out with you guys and show you a little bit of Pattaya Beach before the fireworks, as well as on a, you know, fairly sublime weekday here in Excitement City. What does Fabulous 103 call it? Fun City. Fun City. So anyway, with that, it's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com saying I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, then there's a high likelihood that you haven't like actually taken out some time and some attention units and bothered to pretty much go hang out during a fireworks festival for free. 119 baht to get down here on the bus, and 3 nights accommodations for about 2,400 baht. So I'm living the dream. Adios, amigos. Have a great day, guys. Ciao.